What is the NBA storyline?
He couldn't do it, Jason. Compete for championships. I should say steal them. His lack of desire to compete like all the other guys that came before him. To really destroy the competitive balance of the NBA and just destroy the desire of players to compete at all. Contracts swelling out of control, total and full guarantees, and can barely stomach watching the games on a nightly basis. Winning has just become secondary. In 2008-2009, he had the #1 seed in the NBA playoffs. He was the league MVP. They won the most games in the regular season those 2 years. He flamed out before the NBA Finals, and he just looked around at his supporting cast and said, I can't do it. I need more help. But he didn't just go to get help. He went and joined a top 3 player in the NBA at the time in Dwayne Wade and his primary competition in his own conference. And they recruited another top 25 player at the time in Chris Bosh. It was an unbeatable super team. And he squeezed everything he could get out of that. And then he went to another super team back in Cleveland with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. And at that point, you have Kevin Durant and Steph Curry looking around, who were the other best players in the league at this time, saying, well, if he can do it, why can't we? If LeBron can have super teams and play with his buddies and have a fun, enjoyable time on the court and compete, why can't we do it too? So then Steph Curry and Kevin Durant decide to join up and get into the super team mix as well. And it just all coalesced in that like 2010 decade. And again, like I said, complicated because there's so many other things that are ramping up in addition to that happening in the background. I mean, it's just the social media infusion into the NBA where players are essentially celebrities now. And basically, Jason, these guys care more about their bank accounts and their celebrities, their celebrity status, the amount of likes they get, the views they get on social, how many followers they have. It's all become about that. It has just permeated the product to such a degree that it can't help but have seepage into regular fans like me and so many others that grew up loving this sport.
They've lost the plot. They don't have compelling stories. Zion Williamson was supposed to be the next big thing. He's eaten his way out of that. They don't have anybody. Ja Morant carried guns and went into a strip club and decided to be a rapper more than he has, wanting to be a compelling player. And they just kind of, and so what they could not anticipate, and I think this is an under-discussed, and it's new. I wouldn't even say it's under-discussed, but people haven't realized. Caitlin Clark has actually hurt the NBA. That there used to not be anything interesting going on in basketball during those summer months. Well, we just had a very fascinating basketball story all summer with Caitlin Clark versus the angry black women of the WNBA. That's a fascinating story, and it's a basketball story, and the NBA doesn't have anything to compete with that. Nothing. And so the NBA looks it's a lot less compelling. It looks a lot less exciting when, hey, I can go watch a spoiled, entitled guy who may or may not be load managing this night. I can go watch him jack up a bunch of three-pointers. The competition's not there. The storyline's not there. There's been this new introduction of a basketball storyline built around Caitlin Clark and women's basketball. The competition is actually getting to the NBA. They've created Frankenstein with the WNBA. They financed it for 28 years. And some woman's now popped up that's made the WNBA interesting. Now, she may have just, undermined herself, but I do think it's impacting the NBA. I don't even know what's the story? There used to be, and Scap, you're too young, but I remember every offseason for 3 or 4 years would be like, is this the year Jordan's finally gonna figure out how to play and win a title? What's going to happen between Magic and Larry, and which one is really better, blah, blah, blah. Allen Iverson, is his style of play going to actually lead to a chance? Can Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal coexist? can Kobe Bryant take the Lakers to a championship without Shaquille O'Neal? Because the Michael Jordan LeBron deal, it's over. Michael Jordan won that. The documentary Last Chance or Last Run, Last Dance, to me settled that. When people got a reminder of who Michael Jordan was, that I don't know, what is the NBA's top storyline this season? Nikola Jokic going for a fourth MVP?
It's actually, whenever Bronny does anything, even in the G League, it's like top news on ESPN.com.
Yeah.
It's one of the top 8 little headline story articles that they present upon signing in, because Bronny James had a decently effective performance in the G League. So that might have been a tongue-in-cheek comment there or a joke, but it actually is. Bronny James has been a major storyline in the league this year, which is pretty pathetic, because the Lakers are teetering.
Who's the other rookie? Who's the top rookie of the year? Is it Dalton Connect? I don't know. Who is it?
He's
in foreigner that I don't know.
Dalton's in the mix. He's probably in the top 2, but this was a down class in general. It's just been a down year, honestly, for rookies. But just to answer your question,
I gotta say this for me. I gotta say this for Wemby. I have no interest. He's not Ralph Sampson. He's not Patrick Ewing. He's not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's 7'4". He's a beanpole. I have no interest.
And he's connected to Popovich.
Yeah, but he jacks up 3-pointers and he's 7'4". He's not a fascinating story to me. All these super tall guys, because I guess there's some 7'9" guy coming. I got no interest in guys that don't have to jump to dunk. But anyway, he doesn't have a shot. I just don't know. I don't know what their story is.
I'm with you on Wembanyama. I think there was a suggestion around league circles before the year that there was going to be some meteoric season 2, step up for him. We were going to see LeBron, from season 1 to 2 had a humongous increase. Luka Doncic had a big increase from season 1 to 2. These kind of, historical type prospects that came in that we've seen over the last 2 decades generally have this meteoric rise into year 2, and Wembanyama just hasn't done it. He's essentially the same player as he was last year. But I think if you force me to pinpoint a storyline right now, honestly, it would just be Nikola Jokic going for a 4th NBA MVP, because there's only 5 guys right now in NBA history, Jason, that have more than 3. So Jokic is trying to become a 6th guy in that overall grouping.